The news is brought to you today by Brian Boring and Bill Blah Blah.
We're not the news, we're Newsday Tuesday, and we are back today, guys, to bring you a fantastic special. Come with us as you learn all the news you need from Newsday Tuesday. Good morning and welcome to Newsday Tuesday. I'm your host, Andrew Foster, and I'll be joined with my host, virtually this time, Mr. Sivia, alright, as we bring you the news from around the world. Alright, we have amazing stories for you and we are happy to be back on the air here today on Newsday Tuesday. Right, first across to international news. And wait, who's that I see out the corner of my eye? Is that Mr. Bump? Mr. Bump, what's happened to you? What? I can't believe it. You got injured? Mr. Bump, injured of all people? How did you end up getting injured? Tell the kids at home. Mr. Bump, you're going to need to talk a little louder, otherwise they're not going to hear you. What, you want me to tell them the story? There's a crazed ostrich on the loose. And he's running all over the place, causing all sorts of mayhem. Well, we must bring you this news now, live, here, from the studio. All right, Mr. Bump. So, apparently, there's been an ostrich on the loose, taking out people, running about, causing all sorts of mayhem in America. In Missouri, of all places, the news comes from us from St. Charles County, where the police department has rushed to the aid of the civilians out there who see the crazed bird running up and down the streets. The bird's name is Clyde, and as he ran about causing mayhem from street to street, the police had to chase him down. Turns out Clyde had managed to escape, break free from his encampment, and find himself freedom for a short period of time. Luckily for the public, the police acted swiftly, and without further ado, they were able to bring Clyde back in to his home without any major incidents. I guess you could say, for a short time, he was free as a bird. And still with international news, oh dearie me. I swear I got something up my nose. Oh my word, where did this coin come from? It doesn't look even like a British coin. It looks like it's possibly a ruble. Yes, definitely from Russia. And funny enough, there was another story in the news this week about a man with a coin up his nose. You see, a 59-year-old man from Russia, who does not want to be named, went into hospital feeling a little bit of sinus problems. Wasn't sure exactly that he could smell correctly, and he wanted to check it out. So, the doctors take a look, they put him in for a scan, and what did they find? None other than a coin that had been stuck up his nose for 53 years. As a boy at the age of 6, the young boy had popped the coin up his nose, thinking it would be funny and a laugh, and it got stuck. His parents took him to the hospital at the time, but they weren't able to get it out, and they just thought, well, it will come out naturally. As the boy grew up into a man, he forgot about this incident until he couldn't start smelling properly. He popped to see the doctors again, and amazingly, after just a short surgery, they were able to get that coin out. I guess you could say that might be a penny for your thoughts. A man from Taiwan has attempted to blow as many bubbles inside of a bubble that's physically possible. The man from Taiwan, called Chang Yi-Ti, has attempted to blow as many bubbles as possible. In this case, 783 smaller bubbles within one giant bubble. The world record attempt took place yesterday, and we're going to go to a video now so you can see the amazing attempt in action. Isn't that world record incredible? I guess he'll be looking for his own soap opera after this. And now to national news. As you may know, Britain has left the European Union, and as such, certain trade issues have come up. Port to port, there have been some issues, and people have been moving between the United Kingdom and the rest of Europe. One man, while travelling to Holland, got pulled over by officers who decided they'd inspect what he had for lunch. It turns out that a man was pulled over by custom officers to ask him what was in his lunch. When the man said he simply had some ham sandwiches, the officers from Holland stated that it was not allowed and was classed as contraband, so they had to confiscate his ham sandwiches. Can you believe it? The man lost his lunch just travelling into Europe. Unbelievable! The customs official stated, "Welcome to the Brexit, sir. I am sorry about the situation." Which, of course, made everybody laugh a little bit of time. Apparently, we do have a happy end to the story, because after a little bit of a conversation, the man was allowed to finish his lunch before travelling into Europe.
Thank you, Mr. Foster, and welcome to the local news. Before I get started, though, I just wanted to say a big hello to everybody back at home. Hopefully, it won't be too long before we see you back. Keep attending those Zoom sessions and keep sending your fantastic home learning into us. We really enjoy seeing it. Now let's move on to the local news. On Boxing Day, an unusual young animal was seen wandering through a small Wiltshire village. The animal in question was a hedgehog. Now you might be wondering, Mr. Sylvia, what is so unusual about a hedgehog being in a village? Now, what's unusual about it, as you probably are aware, hedgehogs are normally nocturnal, which means you see them at night time. Now this hedgehog was spotted during the day. Now the passers-by that were walking past stopped and stared at this hedgehog. Okay, some of you might be saying, Mr. Sylvia, I've seen a hedgehog during the day before. I have. I've seen a hedgehog in the very early hours of the morning. However, this hedgehog was very different. He was different because he was a blonde hedgehog. That's right, a blonde hedgehog. So the coloured spines on the back of the hedgehog were blonde. Now it's very, very rare to see blonde hedgehogs because it's a very rare genetic difference that causes it. So it's what's known as a recessive gene. So you get a recessive gene or a dominant gene. And normally, okay, it's the dominant gene that takes hold and gives the hedgehog its appearance, which normally is that brown looking colour. But this time, with this particular hedgehog, the recessive gene, okay, showed, which meant that the hedgehog appeared as blonde, which is very rare. Now, unfortunately, this hedgehog had got himself into a spot of bother, and that's why it was out during the day. Fortunately, though, for the little dazzler, he was taken to the Wiltshire Wildlife Hospital, where it received some help. And it was much needed because the hedgehog only, when it was weighed, only weighed 335 grams. Now, to give you a bit of an idea of roughly how much that is, this packet of Uncle Ben's rice weighs 250 grams, and this weighs 500 grams, this packet of pasta. So it weighs somewhere in between these two. Now, really, okay, hedgehogs should weigh more than this and this together. So he was very, very well malnourished and needed a lot of feeding up and looking after. Fortunately, though, I have got some good news. The little hedgehog has survived and is being well cared for. And that has been the local news.
Now let's see what amusement and excitement Mr. Thomas has got for you next on this section.
welcome to the sporting news, and hot off the press, Wayne Rooney, England's all-time leading goal scorer, has just announced his retirement from football. Wayne Rooney started his career at Everton before moving on to Manchester United, where he made 393 appearances for the club before moving back to Everton, where he grew up as a child, and then having a very great career in America at DC United. He is currently at Derby, where he will now take over as manager. Here are a few of his best goals. Enjoy.
What incredible sporting news there from Mr. Sivia. Well, this has been Newsday Tuesday, and this has been the news. Join us, hopefully, same time, same channel, for Newsday Tuesday.